The futures wise, perhaps we are heading there. Shubham, same question to you. Today's trade and for January contract.
Yeah, if we just look at the short-term movement of Nifty, I think it's not only about today and what is going to happen tomorrow, but if you just look at the movement that has been taking place for last some weeks, we have seen that the range has gradually been contracting on Nifty, and that is what we expect even going further, that the band for Nifty will keep on contracting. So right now we have a band of about 6120 on the downside, and on the upside we have a resistance around 6350 and 6500. But more important is whether even if it closes at an all-time high, then we see a follow-up movement coming to that or not. It might happen that we might see the Nifty moving towards 6500, but that doesn't change the overall trend on Nifty, which is basically a consolidation to a negative bias. So just talking about the January expiry, most of our statistical models that we follow, where we track momentum between the developed world and the emerging economies, we have signs that the emerging economies might do well for a month or so, and that is the reason we believe that the support of 6120 should not be breached, at least for the January expiry. And as we move, if at all we move lower to that support, the recommendation would be that investors and traders can add position with a stop loss below 6120, and on the higher side we can definitely expect a target closer to 6500.
Okay, so 6120 could be the support that you should watch out for on the index. Mr. Tulsian, good morning. The big stock that has moved this month has been BHEL, and yesterday it saw a big bump up as well. What's happening there, and you would buy that stock this morning?
Because the chairman has got an extension?
No, not that. That's really not the reason, But that has happened for the first time for a PSU. So I think we are seeing a new trend coming in. But coming purely for the buy call, if you really see in the common parlance, in the market, if you really go by the textbook, it has a reverse arbitrage, and that to reverse arbitrage of 8 to 9 rupees. So you always we earlier used to call it unda badla, or maybe in the
backwardation.
Yes. So backwardation charges, the reverse arbitrage. So the thing is, you always take a negative call, but go the other side. When you have the paucity of these stocks, Ambuja Cement is also seeing the backwardation charges or maybe the reverse arbitrage but there again the discount is 1 rupee, but here the discount is 8 to 9 rupees. So probably that indicates that you have the very low float, cash shares are not available. Just buy the small quantity and see the cash rate going up, and maybe on the last day it all depends on the strength. If the strong hands are holding the stock, you always see the expiry happening at the closure to that rate. Open interest is 4 crore shares. If you really take the public holding, I'm not talking of the institutional holdings and all that, public holding is closer to about 8 crore shares. You have 4 crore shares in open interest. Yesterday also what we have seen, that at the end, maybe in last half an hour or maybe last 15 minutes, we have seen good amount of delivery based buying coming in. So yes, I'm expecting that same trend is likely to continue, at least maybe for the, if I'm not saying that for the whole series, which is likely, that whole series is likely to remain positive for BHEL, but yes, at least for next week to 10 days, you can look for or maybe within this week you can look for a level of 188.
Okay. Jain Irrigation is the other stock. It's actually in the news. It got a micro irrigation project worth almost 400 crores from Karnataka, but you have a buy there today?
Yes, again, 386 crore, world's largest integrated micro irrigation project, which has come from Karnataka. And actually, if we see the stock in this last 1 week, maybe actually at that time we got the hint that probably the expiry management is being done, with a view to have a better expiry. But that trend seems to be continuing. The volume has shrunk. Now that means even if you have to buy a small quantity, you can see the good amount of share prices, can start moving up. So keeping the positive stance for whole of the series, and maybe the expectation will start building up on the Q3 numbers also, that the company may be able to post the better numbers. But yes, go for a target of 74.50 within this week itself. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a break on that note and come back. We have still 15 more minutes for pre-opening. Hi, welcome back to the show. Let's get our colleagues in now to tell you what stocks you should keep on your radar. Rima joins us with the stocks in the news, and Pragya is with us to tell us whether any brokerages are working and have they released any notes, or are we just sort of struggling to find them? Pragya?
Well, thanks a lot for that, Sonia. I'll start with Goldman on Apollo Tyres. They have a neutral rating on the stock. Target price, they've put it under review. The recent news that has come out on this particular deal, they said that it puts to rest any kind of any renegotiation options as far as this deal is concerned. It removes the overhang from the stock price relating to any high debt associated with the potential acquisition on Cooper. The stock could now trade at about 1.27 times on a 1-year forward price to book if Apollo ends up paying the breakup fee, and the market would now focus on the company's long-term commentary on any kind of diversification on capital allocation policies apart from the outlook on its global acquisitions. Bank of America Merrill Lynch has a buy on Aurobindo Pharma. Target price has increased from about 425 to 450. They've raised their EPS estimates by about 5% each for the next 2 years, mainly to factor in the new launches. In fact, they are expecting a much stronger second half for the company versus the first half. The company is on course to delivering a strong operating performance for the next 2 years. While the valuation discount has narrowed compared to its peers, the further re-rating of the company will be dependent on the company's ability to now improve its balance sheet going forward. MF Global has a buy on Mobile. Target price 50. The visibility on the innovation pipeline continues to remain low. In fact, the valuations continue to remain tepid on this particular company. However, they believe that going forward the worst is over. In fact, the company is expected to register an earnings growth of about 20% CAGR over the next 3 years. The international business continues to do well. The domestic business is stabilizing now, and they're recommending investors to buy the stock at current levels. Over to you, Rima.
Thanks for that, Pragya. Mercator Lines, where they're seeking a shareholder approval to raise up to 100 crores and also up the borrowing limit to 5,000 crore. Jain Irrigation has won a micro irrigation project worth 386 crore in Karnataka. Future group stocks will be in focus, where sources indicate that the group has revived talks to acquire a majority stake in Spiker Lifestyle. And lastly, Deep Industries, where there is a board meeting scheduled today to consider allotment of convertible warrants to the promoter group on a preferential basis. With that, it's back to you.
Thank you, Rima and Pragya. Though I can't understand why you both are in blues. It's been a happy year, although the Nifty has gone up only 7% and maybe have gone down in dollar terms. Things have certainly perked up.
Well, that's perhaps because
half.
they have to work today and
No, I think
tomorrow.
blues tomorrow is okay. Today is all right. Today I don't mind working. All right, let's get to other guests as well. Vishal Kshatriya of Edelweiss also joins in. Vishal, well, you should be the man of the moment, because today we could have some bit of maybe volatile trading simply because the big cats are away. How would you trade the Nifty today?
Well, this is a year end and most of the people are on leave, especially from FII side. So I guess today and tomorrow will be a very range bound session with Nifty consolidating in 100 points. So I don't see a major move in a short term. Even this full week would be in a range of 6250 and 6400. I don't see a major move. But if you ask me what's the broader view on markets, is obviously a positive. We have seen a Nifty bouncing back multiple times from its important support levels. So yes, this clearly indicates that there is an emerging demand from a support level in the Nifty. I would like to also share one important indicator which has been giving good signals in a Nifty. That's a put call ratio based on open interest. Right now the put call ratio is at 0.84. If you see the range of this put call ratio in last 2 years, we have seen a range of 0.8 and 1.3. So 0.8 reading indicates the oversold reading and 1.3 overbought reading. So right now, if you see markets is oversold, put call ratio is indicating that market is in the oversold territory. At any moment, we can see a good amount of bounce back happening in markets. And if you see 6400 level taken out, then 6550 will be on cards on Nifty.
All right, quickly on to some stocks then. Vishal, you have a buy call on Lupin. Actually, that's been one of the best performers this year, about a 50% gain. Is your strategy purely for today?
No, this will be a medium term trade, so maybe 15 to 20 days. Basically, stock has performed quite well, and we have seen this stock has been consolidating in a narrow range since last 1.5 months. Last week stock has broken out that range, and we have seen a good amount of volumes also happening. We have seen also long build up happening, and those longs has been carried forward to the Giant series. So I believe the stock will trade positive bias for a medium term, maybe 15-20 days, and I'm expecting the stock to test 980 levels. So I have a buy call at current market price with a target price of 980. Stop loss can be placed below 880 levels.
Okay, let's shift to some mid-cap stocks now. Mr. Tulsian, you have a buy on Jain Irrigation?
Yes, that's what I said, that that it's a 386 crore order, and actually if you see the buying which has happened in this last 2 weeks, probably that gives the fillip to the stock. So look for a level of 74.50 in this.
Okay, then let's get to the sells as well. You have a sell on Oriental Bank.
See, largely actually, if you really see the 81 lakh shares, when were allotted to the government at 185 rupees about couple of weeks back, since then the market, the share has come into the negative, because probably people are not very happy that dilution is happening against the book value of 450 rupees and you are allotting the shares. Actually, that has been the general phenomenon, because you will be issuing the shares below book value. But when the market price is ruling at about 225, and the stock has been issued at 81 lakh shares have been given to the government at 185, that in fact is the negative. And as such, if you really see the mid-sized PSU banks like Canara Bank can be placed in the larger one, but maybe like OBC or maybe like Union Bank, Allahabad Bank, Andhra Bank, Syndicate Bank, they have all been seeing the liquidation or maybe the profit booking coming in. So the same thing continues on the Oriental Bank of Commerce also, and I expect that probably the 216 level can be seen in the near term.
Right. One trading idea from you, Shubham?
If you look at the overall cement sector as a whole, we expect underperformance coming in from the cement space, and that is the reason I would recommend a sell on ACC. If you look at the chart patterns, the long-term supports has been broken out. We have seen a recent pullback to the resistance level, and multiple bearish patterns are getting formed on the higher side. So that is the reason we are recommending a sell on ACC for a target of around 920, and we expect that the stock can slide to 920 in coming 1.5-2 months.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen, hang it there. We'll have time to talk about more trading ideas. For the moment, it's a break. Back in a minute.
MCX Stock Exchange, India's new stock exchange, presents Bazaar Morning Call.
Hi, welcome back. Just one more minute to go and we'll get the pre-opening rates on the screen. So let's try and get some final calls in from our guests. Vishal, you have a buy or rather a call on ITC for the day. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, I have an option strategy on the ITC. Basically, the strategy is a bullish strategy. So view over here is bullish. Basically, the strategy is bull ratio spread, which involves buying 320 call and simultaneously selling 340, two lots of 340 calls. The net cost for developing the strategy is almost nil, so it's just 20 paisa, and we will be making a profit of rupees 10 if stock rallies to 340. If on a contrary, if stock falls from here, then we will not have any losses, as we are simultaneously buying and selling options together, which will make sure that we will be hedged on the downside. However, if stocks see a very strong up move above 350, then only we will see loss. So basically the view over here is ITC.
Alright, let's just take the pre-opening rates that are flashing for you on the screen. Don't go by the first rate on the Nifty. It's down about 0.7%, so we'll just wait for that to stabilize. But the Sensex is a more believable rate. It's flat at this point in time, just up about 9 odd points. In terms of individual stocks, a couple of these cement stocks are at the top of the list. So ACC is up almost about 3 odd %. Pharmaceuticals, Ranbaxy, Lupin. Remember, pharmaceutical names have been one of the big gainers this year, so that perhaps may continue today on the last day of the year as well. And PNB, we were talking about that. It's been one of the big movers in the last many weeks. PNB tops the list now, up about 1.5%. In fact, not bad. Now the Nifty is flattened out, so flatness could be the order of the day. At least that's what the pre-opening rates are suggesting. And a couple of other heavyweights like L&T, ONGC, etc. may also participate on the upside. That's the opening on the dollar rupee, by the way, 61.85. So it's not bad. I mean, it's been largely range bound, between 61.50
actually,
and 62.
the joke was it closed at 61.85 the day before, that is Friday night. Yesterday it closed at 61.91. Today again it goes to 61.85. So basically they are looking for direction. There isn't much that's happening at all. Just a few random stocks that are so terribly in the negative, largely metal stocks. NMDC is open 6.5% lower. Hindustan Zinc 3.8% lower. well, a stock or at least a company which will be watched very closely today by a lot of my relatives, Sun TV, down 2.4%. I mean, it's a bit random, the moves at this point in time. Now, of course, the fall is moderated to about 1.5%. The cement stocks are the one that are up and about, but then they saw a bit of selling a few days back. HDFC Bank up 1.5%, PNB 1.5%, ONGC 1%, Glenmark 1%. Well, nothing much is happening here really.
Well, just a couple of more stocks that are in the news. Apollo Tyres, in pre-opening that stock is up about 10%, so that's one stock that you'd want to watch. Kotak has upgraded Apollo Tyres and has a price target of 125, so perhaps there's more on the cards there. Trent, it will react positively to the FIPB approval for the Tesco Trent JV. That one as well is up about 3%. Gen Irrigation, that was Mr. Tulsian's stock idea, where Gen Irrigation has won an order worth close to 400 crores from the Karnataka government, so that's up about 3%. And a couple of other stocks like Future Retail, etc. may also be in focus. That was under pressure yesterday, but there are sources that tell us that the talks have been revived to acquire a majority stake in Spiker Lifestyle, so that may be in focus.
And also perhaps some positive vibes from the Tesco approval by FIPB could rub off positively on Future Retail as well. That stock could be responding to that move.
Okay, so let's get some final questions in. Mr. Tulsian, just one quick word on Apollo Tyres. If someone had not participated, because of the overhang of that deal, would you advise participation at 110?
Sonia, I won't advise it beyond 110 because hereafter, again, people will start talking on the maybe termination, that's breakup fee and termination penalty, because we all presume the termination penalty will remain at $50 million. But yes, definitely Cooper will be asking for the higher breakup fee, maybe of a $500 million and all that. So that overhang will start. We may say that yes, the case seems to be very weak for the Cooper because they have gone ahead and terminated the contract. But maybe beyond 110, I don't think that there is, because a lot of technical factors also comes in, because we have seen the lot of longs having got created in the stock in last week to 10 days. And I think that beyond 110, the liquidation will come in. So yes, we will be seeing the frenzy coming in today. The stock may go to 115, 116. I don't see it really going beyond those levels, but I won't be advising buying beyond 110.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mr. Tulsian, for joining us this morning. Okay, Vishal, just to come back to you, any of your strategies that you will have on Apollo Tyres itself or any of the retail stocks?
Yes, on Apollo Tyres, we have seen a Cooper deal been off, so stock could trade with a positive bias. Not only that, we have seen a good amount of rally in this particular stock from 75 levels to 110 maybe today. So I would rather be a wait and watch approach and wait for a dip to again go ahead long. So level which I would be going long, prefer going long would be 104, 105 level. If it opens at this level, it's good. It's a good buy with a target price of 115. But if it opens above 110, I would definitely not be a buyer in the first take.
Okay. Shubham, one of the strongest stocks this month, apart from the IT and the BHELs of the world, has been Tata Power. It's up about 12% this month. Any trade that you would advise over there?
Yeah, we might have seen, some amount of movement coming in Tata Power only on a monthly basis. But if you look at the chart for last 3 years, 4 years, the stock has been absolutely sideways, and we have seen a prolonged consolidation happening in Tata Power. And even if you look at the peer companies or how the sector is doing at a whole, we don't see big movement coming in on that sectoral front. So that is the reason, the resistance is placed somewhere closer to 95, 98. So the recommendation would be that if at all we see a movement towards the level of 95 or 98, we should use that as a selling opportunity, and we might look to use that cash on some of the sectors which have better momentum, like IT or maybe some of the pharma stocks. So the recommendation would be to exit on a temporary pullback, and a fallback from that level could be to the extent of 70 rupees, and that is the medium term target that we see for Tata Power.
Okay, Vishal, would you have any view on the bank Nifty itself? How would you trade it?
Yes, even a bank Nifty, just like Nifty, has been trading in a range of 11,300 to 11,700. So if this range is broken, I will be advising to trade on a side in which we will see breakout. Till that time, yes, we will be seeing a range bound trading in bank Nifty as such.
Okay, then Well, now the pre-opening rates have stabilized, so it's expected to be a very slow start, So 6,300 perhaps may be the pivot point for the day. Don't expect any fireworks as most of the market is on holiday. The advanced decline ratio may start positive, so that's the key takeaway. Remember, the mid-cap index has been seeing some momentum in the last many weeks. However, for the entire year, while the Nifty is up about 7-8% this year, the mid-cap index is actually down 6.5%. So in effect, the mid-cap index has been the underperformer this year if you take it from the start of January. However, let's see how the last trading day of the year pans out. It's expected to be quiet with a bit of a positive bias. Let's get in our first guest of the day then, Dipen Seth of HDFC Securities.